Welcome back, Math Masters. A new scroll has arrived at the dojo gates. Today, you'll begin training in finding common denominators and equivalent fractions to earn your next badge. For 1 6/9, 2 12ths, and 20 16ths, simplify each to the lowest terms, find a common denominator for all, record each as an equivalent fraction using the common denominator. Study well. The path to mastery begins now.
Welcome back, Math Masters. I have a feeling we'll need our knowledge of equivalent fractions to conquer today's challenge. Have your guided notes ready? Training starts now. Today's challenge is 3 parts. Great idea, Mia! Let's break this challenge into smaller chunks. That will make things more manageable. The first part is simplifying, the process of reducing a fraction to its lowest terms, where the numerator and denominator only have 1 as a common factor. Why is simplifying the first step? Simplifying makes fractions easier to use since they're in lowest terms, like 3 12ths. Can that be simplified? Yes! Remember, to simplify a fraction, we divide the numerator and denominator by the GCF. You're right. Let me break that down. GCF stands for greatest common factor, which means the largest common factor. This number is greatest because it's the biggest. Common because both lists have the number in common, and a factor is a number that multiplies together to become another number. To simplify 3 over 12, we begin by listing the factors for the numerator and denominator. 1 and 3 are the factors of 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12 are the factors of 12. What is the greatest number in both lists? 3. That means it's the GCF. We divide both the numerator and the denominator by 3 because 3 is a common factor for both numbers. 3 divided by 3 equals 1, and 12 divided by 3 is 4. So 3 12ths simplifies to 1/4. In fact, that's today's training tip. Dividing by the GCF will always simplify our fraction to its lowest terms. Find the GCF, divide, and your fraction is simplified every time. Simplifying doesn't only work with proper fractions. Lately, we've been working with improper fractions and mixed numbers. Thinking about how we simplified 3 12ths, find the fullest simplified forms of 1 4 20ths and 21 over 14. Hint, when you simplify, you don't need to convert. We'll check together when you're done. To simplify the mixed number 1 4 20ths, just work with the fractional part using the same steps as before. List the factors of 4 and 20 and determine the GCF. It's 4. They also share 2, but 4 is greater. Divide the numerator and denominator by 4, and the fraction part becomes 1/5. In lowest terms, the mixed number is 1 1/5. We simplify the improper fraction the exact same way. Divide top and bottom by the GCF. Here are the factors of 21 and 14. What's the GCF? 7. Dividing both by 7, we end up with 3 over 2, our fully simplified fraction. Ooh, we have some new fractions to think about. 8/5 and 3 and 1/2. Let's try simplifying them. Pause here to record your thinking. How'd it go? For both fractions, when we list out their factors, the GCF is 1. If you try dividing by 1, you get the same fractions all over again. That means the fractions are already fully simplified. Now that they're fully simplified, what could we do with them? Now that we know our fractions are fully simplified, we can find a common denominator for them. That means finding a denominator that all the fractions can share. I'll show you what I mean by finding a common denominator for 8/5 and 3 1/2. What do you notice about the denominators of these fractions? They're different. To find a common denominator, we list a few multiples for each, then find the lowest one they share. The first few multiples of 5 are 5, 10, 15, and 20. And multiples of 2 are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Yes, that's enough. Usually 4 or 5 multiples work, but sometimes you need more. Okay, so what's the lowest match? 10. So the common denominator for 8/5 and 3 1/2 is 10. Your turn. Pause the video here to find a common denominator for these fractions that we simplified earlier in your guided notes. The denominators are 4, 5, and 2. First, list the multiples. Which is the lowest of the multiples? 20. That means the common denominator for 1/4, 1 1/5, and 3/2 is 20. Now that we know the common denominator, we can rewrite each as an equivalent fraction with that denominator. An equivalent fraction uses different numbers to show the same value. We're not changing the size of the fraction, just the digits we use to represent it. Let me show you what I mean with these two fractions. A little bit ago, I found 8/5 and 3 1/2 have a common denominator of 10. So we'll rewrite both with 10 on the bottom. Let's focus on the improper fraction first. Our new denominator will be 10. The old denominator was 5. The question we ask ourselves is, 5 times what equals 10? 5 times 2 equals 10. So we need to multiply the numerator by 2. Exactly, Mia! Anything that happens to the bottom of the fraction must happen to the top. Otherwise, it won't stay equivalent. 8 times 2 is 16. So 8 over 5 becomes 16 over 10. Now the mixed number 3 1/2. 2 times what equals 10? 2 times 5 equals 10. We multiply the old numerator by 5 to finish creating the equivalent fraction. 1 times 5 is 5. So the mixed number equivalent to 3 1/2 is 3 5/10. Your turn. Record the 3 fractions you've been working with as equivalent fractions with 20 as the common denominator. Starting with 1/4, you ask yourself, 4 times what equals 20? 5. So multiply numerator and denominator by 5. That gives us an equivalent fraction of 5 over 20. Next is the mixed number 1 1/5. 5 times what equals 20? 4. That means this time you multiply the numerator by 4. Remember, just do this to the fraction part, not the whole part of the mixed number. That results in an equivalent mixed number of 1 4/20. Last is the improper fraction 3 over 2. What times 2 is 20? 10. we need to multiply the old numerator 3 by 10. That gives us 30 over 20. Putting it all together, you simplified, found the common denominator, and then rewrote equivalent fractions using the common denominator. Your challenge still awaits. Complete it, and the equivalent fraction badge is yours. For 1 6/9, 2 12ths, and 20 16ths, simplify each to the lowest terms. Find a common denominator for all. Record each as an equivalent fraction using the common denominator. Pause here to solve and become a challenge champion. To simplify the first fraction, you ignore the whole number and focus on 6 over 9. They have a GCF of 3. When divided by 3, that becomes 1 2/3. 2 12ths has a GCF of 2, so when divided by 2, you end up with 1/6. And 20 over 16 can also be simplified. What GCF did you find for this fraction? 4 goes into both, and when you divide, you get 5/4. Next is the common denominator. Our denominators are 3, 6, and 4. The first multiples are on screen. What's the common multiple? 12, so that's the common denominator. Part 2, check. Now, rewrite each with a denominator of 12. For the first fraction, the question is, 3 times what equals 12? 4. So we multiply the numerator and denominator by 4. The first equivalent fraction is 1 8/12. Next up is 1/6. 6 times 2 is 12, and multiplying the numerator by 2 results in 2/12. Hey, that's the same fraction we started with. That's because they're equivalent fractions. Amazing, huh? Last but not least is 5 over 4. 4 times 3 is 12. So our last step is multiplying the numerator by 3. The equivalent fraction is 15 over 12. You're right! We should celebrate, Mia! In fact, we're challenge champions for conquering this big 3-part fraction problem. So, what have we learned today? We learned that using the GCF can help us simplify a fraction to its lowest terms, that listing the multiples of different denominators can help us find a common denominator, and that multiplication can be used to find equivalent fractions. You've earned the equivalent fraction badge, but your training isn't over just yet. Be sure to complete the practice questions and extension activities that go with this lesson to practice simplifying and finding common denominators. And remember, Math Masters, in math, as in training, progress comes with patience and practice. I'll see you next time.
Hey, hey.